Today, the largest AI stock IPO is happening. And we're going to talk about, should you invest in it? Should you buy it? Are you even aware that this is going on today? This is a significant event. As again, the largest AI stock IPO is happening today. We're going to talk about who it is and should you get into this. So the company is Cerebras. And what Cerebras is and what they do is think of them as a direct competitor to NVIDIA. Okay. They architect their chips differently than NVIDIA does. Essentially, think of it this way. Their chip is about the size of a plate. And on that plate, they've got a lot of processors on that one chip, if you will. Whereas NVIDIA, they make individual little, smaller AI chips, and they cluster those chips together to create that, obviously, that computing power. So it's just a different architecture. So Cerebras is coming out, raising $5.5 billion in the IPO. Let me move that picture of me so you guys can see it. Raising $5.5 billion, okay? And coming out at an $185 price per share, which is above the $150 to $160 range. This is, again, the largest AI stock IPO of all time. So it was upsized for original plans. Originally, it was targeting around $4 billion with 28 million shares priced at 115 to 125 each. And so it is coming out at 100% at a premium. Now, let's talk about and have a discussion. Is this an IPO that you want to buy today? I tend to be the guy who wants to wait, kind of let the dust settle, because this IPO currently at this price of, say, $185 is priced extremely optimistic and kind of priced in its perfect position, but there's not a lot of room for it to go up right now from the standpoint of how it's priced and all of the optimism built into this. Okay. So my goal, kind of what I'm going to do, is I'm going to kind of sit back and wait, see how it goes. I tend to look at investing these more in the long term because there is risk with Cerebras. Okay. So it does have a very large premium embedded in the opening day price, which I think, again, I agree with this, reflects outside levels of optimism. Okay. And I really want to kind of see how the dust settles for this. That's kind of where I'm at. Okay. So it does enter the public, this market with this IPO carrying specific risk. 90% of Cerebras's revenue stems from two customers. It is Amazon and OpenAI. Okay. That's where 90% of their revenue is coming from. So anything goes wrong with one of those relationships, what have you, that's the deal. Now, am I saying that it's wrong to have deals with Amazon and OpenAI in place? Absolutely not. It's just 90% of the revenue is coming from them. Okay. Excuse me. So current valuation also prices Cerebras to perfection. I said that a little bit at the top of the video. At about 95x 25 sales, there's no margin for error. Meanwhile, competitive landscape is packed. NVIDIA, AMD, entrenched positions in GPUs and AI accelerators combined with custom silicon efforts from Broadcom means Cerebras will need to justify why its architecture advantage is durable. And I would venture to say expand and pick up more big clients, right? And more clients. I tend to agree right here. NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, they are embedded in all of the hyperscalers, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So I think we just kind of need to see how this plays out. So like, if you kind of look at this IPO versus Palantir's IPO that happened earlier in 2020, a $5,000 investment, is it a good investment? Okay. Could it be a multi-bagger? Now, if you would have invested initially in Palantir, it kind of had a little bit of a dip and then it came back and just did really, really well. Investing in the Cerebras IPO at its current price assumes paying a premium, arguably before it should exist. This could be a bet worth taking, but only investors who can tolerate the volatility and uncertainty associated with this IPO. Look, am I saying you shouldn't buy it? No, I think it depends on your appetite for risk and volatility. I think it's going to come out, probably it's going to pop because there's been no public way to buy it right until today, until obviously the IPO. It's going to pop and going to go up probably dramatically in fashion or in higher, if you will. But again, 90% of revenue comes from two clients going against some very, very entrenched competition. I am looking at probably buying this, but I'm not going to buy it today personally. Okay. I'm going to wait and see how the dust settles and then kind of look at, how it looks and just see what the overall consensus is here. I would love to see them have another couple of client announcements, like major strategic client partnerships, things of that nature. That's how I'm looking at it. Because I think, again, just buying in on the optimism and the hype is not good enough for me right now. I'm going to wait and see how it all plays out. Again, ask yourself, what's my appetite here for volatility, for the optimism that's here? Do I think any upside potential is there? It is priced perfectly kind of for that optimism level, and they're extracting every single dollar they can from this IPO to fill their coffers, right? The company Cerebras to move it forward. So, interesting. But it is, again, the largest AI stock IPO happening today. And take a look and see what your thoughts are. I'm going to sit and wait. And I think that there is some value in seeing how it kind of does play out. But I'm going to wait. All right. So with that, I appreciate you giving me a few minutes. Thanks. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See ya.